Thank you, Deborah. So I am so excited to introduce our guest speaker today. When you've known someone as long as we've known each other, I probably could tell you some things she wouldn't want you to know. Just kidding. Okay. So Beverly Pryor is a member of Unity Worldwide Ministries Ministry Consulting Team. She serves as a mentor in the UWM Special Dispensation Program. She also supports Unity of Little Rock, where she has been living, as the board treasurer, formerly board president. Prior to moving to Little Rock in 2021, Rev Bev, I love that. We're going to start calling you Rev Bev, as she was referred to at Unity of the Hill Country in Kerrville, served as their minister for 3 years. Rev Beverly moved to Kerrville from Dallas, where she was an active licensed Unity teacher for 13 years and a member for over 20 years. As an LUT licensed Unity teacher, she enjoyed teaching SEE classes, speaking, offering special services, conducting sacred ceremonies, and more. She will always consider Unity of Dallas her church home, and we will always consider you ours. Welcome, Reverend Beverly Pryor. No tears. I love you. I love you.
Ann just whispered in my ear, no tears. But you know what, folks? It might happen. I don't know. I've got a tissue in my pocket. My heart is very full. I know so many of you, see, it's already, ugh. I know so many of you. And those of you I don't know, I would like to know. As Ann said, this was and is always going to be my home church, because this is where I found unity. This is where I learned truth principles. And I just love it. I love you. And so I'm going to take a deep breath, and we're going to take some time to go into meditation. And taking off the 4th of July idea of freedom, I want you to allow yourself a moment of liberation as we move into our meditation time. So if you're comfortable, you might want to uncross your feet and hands, sit erect in your chair, and let your spine be straight, as if you were connecting yourself heaven and earth. I like to lift my shoulders, pull them back and drop them down, because that opens up my heart center. And if you're comfortable closing your outer eyes, do that too. Just fully let that chair support you. Feel the weight of your body on that chair. Together, let's take a deep breath in. A little pause at the top, and then slowly release that breath. And if you're like me, you might have a little energy that's extra that you want to release. So take a deep breath in, and then let it out of your mouth. And our final breath in together, we'll just let it circulate through the nostrils, in and out. Breathe in, and breathe out. Just breathing in your normal rhythm. Bring your attention to your breath, just as it enters and returns from your nostrils. Notice as that breath moves in, it's just a little bit cool. And as it returns, as it comes back out, it's just a little bit warmer. In, it's cooler, and out, it's warmer. The breath connects us mind, body, and spirit. And in this moment connects us one with another. We are one in this moment. Continue breathing and notice as your breath moves deeper and deeper within to the very center of your being. Your secret place of the Most High. You've been here before. It's where you began. It's where you know the very truth of your being. You know you are love. You are joy. And you are peace. Allow this truth to permeate every cell of your body, enlivening and energizing. Just take a moment and enjoy this truth as we move into silence. Slowly and gently bring your attention back to this place and this time. But bring back with you that awareness of this moment, this oneness we've created together. For this truth and so much more, we simply say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it is. Okay. Are we all chill now? All right. Allowing transformation. So the title has been promoted. Ooh, was that loud? The title's been promoted, setting the stage for transformation. It's both, right? This is the paradox of what we teach in Unity. You both set the stage and you allow. You vision and then you allow. You have an intention and then you see it unfold. It's a process. And I was talking to a few different people, and I think it was Tony who said, yeah, last time, hey Tony, you talked about the 5 principles. And I'm like, yep, and I'll talk about them again. Because they're not just words. They're called principle for a reason. It's truth, and it's what we work with again and again and again. And as we get it, then we get a little bit deeper, and then we get a little bit deeper, and it unfolds like a lotus flower. But it's not just, oh yeah, I heard that. Oh yeah, I can do that. God is, I am, I think, I pray, do. It's not that simple. It's a process. It's an unfolding. It's the revelation of truth in our lives. And so let's look at our 5 principles real quick. You know, we talk about the little kids. That's what Lisa Walker said. The kids' version, God is, I am, I think, I pray, I do. But that's not just the kids' version. When I was in Kerrville, I taught this to them down there. And one of the ladies told me, you know, I was at lunch the other day and a friend of mine asked me, what is Unity all about? And when I was first here at Unity, we were at lunch after church one day, and he goes, I love Unity because you don't have to believe in anything. And I'm like, okay. But that's how he felt. And that's true on a certain level. You don't have to. No one's giving you doctrine. Nobody's expecting you to recite anything. But for your own understanding, for your own ability to share, because it's hard sometimes to say when I'm going through a process and I'm learning about myself. I shared yesterday with Al's Art of Quantum Living group. And, I started talking, and all of a sudden I'm just gushing and talking so much. And I'm like, I only had 1 cup of tea this morning, I promise. But it's because truth, as it reveals in your life, then you have something to share, right? But if you're just going to say words don't teach. Words don't teach us anything. So we can say, like this lady said, under the table I was going, God is, I am, I think, I pray, I do. Which her friend went, oh, okay. Because those are words that are simple. We can get that, right? God is, I am, I think, I pray, I do. Some people want to do it this way, and Lisa has a really good one from her, Lisa Walker, from her NIA class that goes this way. So ask her to tell you about that. I like to go this way because then that do part is this opposable thumb, right? So we can grasp onto truth. We can get it. We can do things in the world with what we know is true. And that's our 5th principle. They don't have to be embodied in order, but it's important that we learn them each one. And I would suggest, if you really are seeking truth, give yourself a challenge of sitting with these one at a time, one for a whole month. Now, I've done series after series. 1 week it's God is, and then I am, and da-da-da. But that's still not enough time. I've been in Unity for decades, and I'm still learning. I'm still having things unfold in my life that teach me. But do this with me, because I want you to be able to tell your friends when they say, there's something different about you. I can see you have something from within. The song, God was watching us. I love the song, and she did a beautiful job, but it's not, the distance that God is watching you from is in here. Amen. Yeah. God is watching you from inside you. There's an old story about the chief Brahmins all getting together back in ancient times, and they're like, those people, they've learned that they're gods within, and they're getting out of control. We have to hide it. Where are we going to hide it? Let's hide it on the mountains, one of them said. No, they'll learn to scale the mountains. Let's hide it in the ocean, another one said. No, eventually they'll dive in there too. And finally said someone, let's hide it within them, because they'll never look there, right? You know this one. They'll never look there. That's what these principles are about. Stop and look within yourself. This is not about telling someone else, God's within you, right? It's about looking in your own mirror and seeing God. Anybody done any Louise Hay mirroring exercises? It's not easy, but it's important to do. It's important to take the principles and put them into practice. So Al's got that quantum living class. And actually, Tony, are you prepared to come up and share? We talked about this yesterday, and this was kind of a last-minute thing, so I didn't have a proper place for it, but this is good a place as any. Tony's been in the class for 6 weeks, I think, something like that. And the whole class yesterday.
The condensed version.
Oh, we don't have a. Could he borrow your handheld, Ann?
Is this one working?
So he just wants to share a little bit about what that, because this is what it's about, is getting into and practicing, finding out, uncovering, and revealing your own truth. But I'm going to let you share your thoughts and your creation.
So my first thought is it's so great for Reverend Beverly Pryor to be back here. It just feels right for everybody. And the second thing is Al Mahesh had us do the advanced condensed version in about 3 weeks. It was supposed to be maybe 6 weeks, so But I think it was fantastic. There was 11 of us who graduated, and like anything we do at Unity, I learned more from my classmates than, as much from my classmates as anything else that I did. And this process, first of all, I want to thank Al, because I know he went out of his comfort zone to do it, because he used to call me. And this was important to me because I'm taking this integral ministry program along with, I guess, including Bev. There's 6 of us. And really what we're trying to do is to learn a lot more about being able to better support the long-term mission of Unity of Dallas and the Unity movement worldwide. So that's what it's about. And core to that is transformation. So transforming an organization, who knew it involves transforming the people that are in the organization? So it all kind of makes sense. For me, it's personal. I was board president. I was 2 years as treasurer. I was 2 years as VP. So this place is very important to me. And when you're going through a transformation, you've usually gone through something difficult. And I think we all have. We're going through a transition as a church. The process, to me, works because we look at who we are and what we're believing that is limiting what we're doing. They're really kind of built up false beliefs. And the process involves going back and visiting who we are and disconfirming mistaken or error beliefs. And it's not book learned, it's not cognitive. It's what Beverly was talking about. It's experiential. It's going back to who we are and what we choose to be. So that's the process. And one of my things is trying to learn how to better express myself and kind of show up a little bit more. And I found after talking to Al a few times about, well, I don't want to write these things about my triggers and go back to the past all the time. And then if I go back, I don't want to kind of release them. That was my life. That was, my parents, my family. So I had this resistance. So I started thinking about that, and I woke up one morning and I wrote this. So just give me a second to get it out. I call it, I choose to be the me I am to be. What is it that wants to come out today? To come out and play? Do I hide it inside so no one can deride what is in me? Or do I so long for things past that I cling to my old familiar pains? They are like childhood friends who never grew up. They are what I know from so long ago. Some are friendly, some are scary, and some of those learned lessons can make me wary, afraid of not being enough, not good enough for love or peace or security. This is not the truth. So it's time to release that which limits me. I choose to rewrite my beliefs and release my true higher self, the one I am here to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. So that was him allowing transformation, right? Yes, there's a structure that Al created by offering this class. And also, I want to share with you, look for, because it's not been communicated yet, because this just came out, that Lisa will be teaching the embodiment of the 5 principles. And so look for that. That's going to be an amazing class. But the 5 principles, they're important as a way for us to bring our attention. But transformation wants to happen. It's who we are, right? We want to live our fullest life. We want to show up our highest self. It's just the way we're meant to be. So the 5 principles are actually a formula. Now, it's not a 5-step formula like you have to do it all in order, right? Step 1, God is. Step 2, I am. Well, they go together, but anybody familiar with the Hermetic principles of ancient Egypt and Greece? Yeah. So the Hermetic principle is the all is in all, and all is in the all. That's the first 2 principles. God is everywhere present, and I am an expression of that. The all is in all, and all is in the all. This is truth from forever. Every major religion expresses some form of that. And you might not know this, but that's exactly how the 5 principles came about, is that Charles Fillmore brought together a council of 12 major religions, and they found those common threads, that truth. There are a lot of metaphysical principles, and I'm not sure when the last time any of you studied Metaphysics 1 or Metaphysics 2. Are you familiar with the Unity Personal Development Program? It is the best personal development program. I've paid tens of thousands, I'm not bragging, but I've paid tens of thousands of dollars to go through personal development programs. And you've got it right here. And you can bring your family here, and you can do this experience together. You can move through transformation. You can unfold right here. So this is something I want to introduce you to. Anybody familiar with this symbol? It's a no? Yeah? No? A couple people? The ancient Hindu and Buddhist use this symbol. It's called the unalome. Say it with me. Unalome. Remember that. It'll be on writing in just a moment. But it has a message in it with the design. And I'm going to step you through it, even though I'm kind of running out of time already. The Buddhists call it the entire philosophy of human existence. The entire philosophy of human existence in this one symbol. If I was a person who had tattoos, which I'm just being personal with you right now, I don't, but if I did, and if I were going to tomorrow, because I did recently have purple hair, so who knows what I might do. That shocked plenty of people. I know you think it's gray, but it's really kind of faded off purple. The entire philosophy, I would get this, not with the words, but just for that symbol to remind me. And here's why it's important. The first part of it is the spiral. This is the new idea. God is. I am. One of those, right? Not all of them. God is. The spiral represents, it's in nature. Anybody familiar with the Fibonacci sequence? Yes. Good. It's in nature. It's mathematical. It's undeniable. It's immutable. It's truth, right? It's an unfolding that happens over and over again in nature and in us and in the cosmos. There's no separation. That's who we are. We are always unfolding. We are spiraling out to become. There's no place at which you're finished, by the way. You're doing this human thing right now, 3D. This is not the end, nor is it the beginning. You have always existed in some way, shape, or form. This is not it, honey. This is not it. And you already know that. But the spiral is even in our fingerprint, right? The renewal, it represents renewal, regeneration, a new idea, constant change. Some of you, and I don't want to dip into this too much, but some of you are uncomfortable right now with changes that are happening here. Change is always going to happen. I was here for 20-something years. I loved many, many ministers, and I was sad when many of them left. Not all of them, but many of them. Just being truthful, because that's who I am, right, Bo? But the fact is, it is what it is. Let it go. I know, Lynn, I saw you come in and you don't like that phrase. We had that conversation before. She does not like the phrase, it is what it is. But you know what that phrase does? It just lets you let it go. You don't need to hold on to the past. And I'm not just talking about the most recent past, but any of the past. Maybe some of you are still attached to David and Donna McClure. I love them, but they've been gone a long time. We can still love them and let them go. If you've ever, some of you have been married a long time, but those of you who haven't, you've probably loved and let go a few times. It's a natural process we release. Why? Because you can't move on while you're hanging on to whatever used to happen. And I'm not just talking about this. I'm just saying in general, change is natural. It's nature. Take a deep breath. Allow it. Deep breath. Let that energy of change just shift your thought. So here, we have a new thought, right? It's time for a new thought. What's the next part of it? After the spiral, the new thought, we have to work it into our lives. This is the fifth principle, right? You know why it looks like a switchback? Because that's what we do. We learn God is, and then we go back and do that same old thing we used to do, and we criticize our neighbor or our family member, and then we go, ooh, no, God is. Ooh, also you. Okay. And then we start seeing them differently because we're willing to see that God is in my nephew who stole my car. That didn't happen, but whatever offense you think, or someone who believes different politically, or someone who believes different. In Unity, we're pretty good about believe different, whatever spiritually you want to believe, but sometimes we're not so open with the believe different politically. We have to love people who believe differently. They are also God. God is. All and in the all in the all. The all in all in the all. So we work that. The reason it gets narrower towards the top is because we start quicker catching ourselves, right? When we gotta go off a little bit, we switch back, come back to the middle of the truth. Oh, sorry, go back. Well, that one has the right image. What's happening here? Oh, I'm going way, sorry. There we go. Okay, so Rudy York is a sailor, and I've been sailing with him before. He'll understand this. Any other sailors in the room? So when you're sailing and you want to get over there, you don't just like send your boat over there, right? You have to pay attention to the wind and what other things are changing, and you tack and you jibe because you're working with the elements, right? You're working with the water and the wind. But you understand what's going on enough to adjust but you keep your eye on the destination. This is where you are as a community right now. Keep your eye on the destination. The destination is a healthy, loving, vibrant community. That's what you have to do. You have to make some adjustments. I love this quote by William Arthur Ward. He says, "The pessimist complains about the wind." Dang, that wind. I've been on boats with Rudy where I've heard people, oh, there's no wind and it's my turn at the helm and I'm so mad. You know what? When I know it's my turn at the helm next, I start praying right then. When I get at the helm, I've got wind. That's not a joke. I've never told you that secret before, but it's true. So the pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist expects it to change, and the realist adjusts the sails to work with the wind. Make the adjustments. Things are changing. Make the adjustments. Things are changing. Make the adjustments. Say it with me. Things are changing. Make the adjustments. This is what we do. You don't have to be a realist all the time. Be an optimist. But when it comes right down to it and you're not getting anywhere, be a realist, right? Hold that vision. This is why we have a vision and then we let it go. Create a vision and let it go, right? We're allowing transformation. What do we want? We want thriving, healthy, loving. We can be specific and we can let it go and see how it unfolds. We don't know. Let the universe surprise you in some degree, right? Just be open to what happens next. Because if you went straight there, you would not integrate, right? If you went straight to, oh, I'm enlightened, you would not integrate the truth. When you integrate, and any of you, you don't have to raise your hand on this. Some of you I know probably had some pretty psychedelic experiences in your younger days. I was a little uptight for that when I was a young woman, for many reasons, some of which I confessed to Al's group on Saturday morning. I didn't feel safe in the world. That was my core thing that I got down to. However, I have had some really amazing psychedelic experiences in meditation. So the thing about the drug experience or the aha moment, or sometimes just in conversation we go, oh yeah, I heard myself say that, and that is actually, I felt that chill and it's true. But then after that moment, because you know, people can tell you all day long, oh, I got it, I had this moment, I really got this, but then they're not living it, right? The living it part is the important, this is how we integrate. This is a really big buzzword, especially for young people who've had, there's a lot of, you know, experimentation and plant medicine and things happening right now that kids, they're waking up but they don't know what to do with it. You all understand integration. And if you don't, I invite you to start learning. And then you can be a safe space for the young people who are looking, because I've been here years ago. A young man came in the fellowship hall and was telling me about he had a moment, but nobody else gets him now. And I said, I know. You need to integrate your truth. You need whatever it is that you had that aha moment, that light bulb. That's not it. That's the beginning. Then you have to integrate it. And then, after you finally do some integration, oh, I forgot about this one. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself. Al, this is a good one for your class, right? Changing myself. That's all it's about. Because when we show up differently, we allow others to show up differently. We can't just keep doing the same old, same old. Oh, I had this new thought. I learned this one word, but I'm still doing the same old thing. We have to move on. We have to integrate. We have to grow. Those of you who have known me a long time, you know I have changed, right? You've seen it. I'm a lot less uptight than I used to be. And I even told, like, Stephen Dunn years ago when he was first sharing his poetry from his heart, I was like, oh, that's so authentic that you get up and you share these poems that are about your personal life. That's a form of transformation. And Tony's sharing what he wrote. And he also writes songs, by the way. There's a whole lot of talent in here. I know Lisa does poetry. There are a lot of people. I'm calling you people out. The ones that I know something about you, I'm going to put you out there. Because bring this together and share with each other. Inspire one another. See that in yourself and see it in one another. That's what changes the vibe, you know? That's what raises the vibration, is knowing who you are and also seeing that in everyone else. So this is what people think they're going for, right? That top. You get a new idea, you integrate it, and then you attain that. Yes, that thought, that one. But there's so many more layers to it. There's so much more to unfold and to understand. So we go back to the Unalum. You see the journey. You see why it's the story, the entire human existence? Because it's our journey, but it's not a one-time trip. We get a new idea, we integrate it, we live it, and then we get to have it at another level. That's why people who do these programs like ours, we're like, oh, I thought I worked on that. I did therapy, I did this workshop, I did that. But this is another layer, right? So what you're going through as a community, it's just another layer. It's another unfoldment of unity of Dallas to become your pure potential, just like each one of us individually. So in the Bible, because we like to reference the Bible, we are metaphysically a Bible community. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. This is the time for what's happening now, not for what happened in the past. It's time to be in this present moment, and only in this present moment can we together create the next moment. And that's what my workshop is about this afternoon, and I've asked a number of you. Some of you say, yes, you're coming, and some go, well, I had another thing to do, and that's okay. But I encourage you to come because I'll be using sacred symbols, quantum physics, ancient truth, and just plain old prayer and meditation. And there's nothing plain-o about it. So I'd like for you to come from 1 to 3 and experience that with me. And we're going to do a little mindfulness stuff. It'll be interactive, and you'll love it. I tell you, right? You're supposed to laugh at that. I'm being silly. You're all thinking I'm making you raise your hand now, right? Oh, she's going to ask us to raise our hand, and then she'll know we didn't come. Come if you want to. Come if you want to. Feel invited, not obligated. If you come, you're going to like it. That's all I got to say. So this is what people superimpose on this unalome sometimes at the top, as if, you know, we all know the lotus flower is a symbol of enlightenment. There's no one place to get enlightened to, right? It's a 12-petaled flower or however many petals. You get that one idea, you integrate it, one petal unfolds. You have to keep going to the new idea, work it into your life, integrate it, and unfold, and unfold, and unfold, and unfold, and unfold. But it takes conscious effort and commitment. It takes commitment. And if you are a seeker, you're already committed, whether or not you're following your path or not, you're committed, and you'll keep getting those little bumps and kicks and nudges and what is it Alexis Rice used to call it, a cosmic 2x4? Things will happen to guide you, to encourage you. My house got hit by a tornado over a year ago, and I've been displaced. And what do I find this year, this spring, is my core concern in life that always has been safety and security. I'm still unfolding. I'm still learning. But the most important thing about that, by the way, footnote, where is my safety and security? It's not in a house. It's not in a bank account. It's not in a job. It's inside of me. And that's the only place it ever has been and the only place it ever can be. So I'm going to finish with a poem. I love Stephen Dunn's poetry, and I love Shalane Harkin. I think I probably read from her poetry last time. But she's a 30-something-year-old mom living right now. But she writes from that voice of Rumi and Hafiz and the ancient poets. So I want to read her poem, Return, and then we'll be done. It's called Return. Another round through the dark, narrow tunnels of healing. I swear I've been here before, and I swore I'd never return. But this time it's to heal the myth that there's failure in returning. Relapse into old ways as an opportunity for greater kindness to newly revealed tender places. Regression is a deeper look into your soul's needs. Darling, your life is blossom after blossom on 1,000-petaled lotus. Lesson after lesson is how to bow more deeply. Oh, thank you so much. I forgot that I have to give you homework. This is what I do. Your weekly practice is to get still and open your heart and listen and follow your guidance. I forgot I was doing that. I always do that.